After a slowdown in 2016 when the sub-Saharan regional economy grew by just 1.4%, the IMF says growth is expected to almost double this year to 2.6% and reach 3.4% in 2018. One-third of sub-Saharan economies are growing at over 5%. But the IMF doesn't expect the others to catch up.
We're still going to have a situation where 12 out of the 45 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, people in those countries will not be enjoying any increase in per capita income. This is about 40% of the population, so a lot of work to be done to put in place the policies, policy environment to get growth back up to the 5-6% we need to make a significant dent on poverty reduction going forward.
Not all economists agree with the IMF forecasts. Too pessimistic, says Judith Tyson of the Overseas Development Institute.
They haven't really looked at the impact of the recent increases in commodity prices. And in particular, oil has moved up well over $60 a barrel in recent weeks, and there's quite a lot of optimism that it will remain at that level, and the IMF have forecast only $50.
That's a big deal for countries like Nigeria and Angola, economies largely dependent on the oil sector. Tyson says it's not only the price of oil that is underestimated.
For some of the specialist metals, particularly around the electric car market this year, there's been a lot of speculation, and those are produced in large quantities in a number of African countries, and they haven't really looked at examples of that. So, for example, cobalt is a major metal that's mined in Zambia and in the DRC.
The IMF flagged growing concerns over public debt, now above 50% of GDP in half of sub-Saharan economies, just as the costs of debt servicing are rising.
Reflecting the slowdown in economic activity, exchange rate depreciation, but also the operation of state-owned enterprises whose difficulties have migrated to the sovereign balance sheet.
The IMF report calls for urgent fiscal reforms, including diversification. Botswana is highlighted as a positive example, where the country's huge diamond mining industry has diversified to include diamond processing, thus adding value to exports. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.